Thank you. We have witnessed the fifth sign, when elites and politicians oppress the meek and control the world. These elites, they are stealing the future and stealing people's paths to betterment and to happiness. So they will serve the elites' selfish, wicked, and evil agenda. Before delving into the specifics on the fifth sign, let's talk more about the World Economic Forum, the WEF, here as well. Because the WEF has overtly stated that they are replacing God in creation. And the WEF wants the remaining people to serve them as slaves, to serve the elites as they're what the WEF calls transhumans. As the WEF's programmed, mind-controlled servant slaves, they will be subservient to the World Economic Forum. The WEF expects people to 1. Adjust their expectations, 2. Own nothing, and 3. Be happy about it. The WEF's Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, he said, humans are hackable animals, no longer subject to the intelligent design of some god above the clouds. The idea of humans having free will is over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. The WEF seeks to edit and to modify the DNA, the very genome of God's creations of humankind, making people not human anymore. Instead, making people into transhumans per the WEF's Great Reset and their grand design. The WEF seeks to control people and to reduce their cognition, reduce their ability to think for themselves, and to remove their free will, even to remove and change their own desires. They intend to delete the ability to worship God. Through their DNA editing, people are no longer human. They are made into transhuman beings. They are servant slaves. With that bleak insight into the hubris of the WEF, let's continue with more about the fifth sign being fulfilled. The elites of the world seek to pillage and to steal from the hard-working masses. They seek to ensure the meek remain poor and vulnerable, so that they, the wealthy and powerful, will all have the weak to serve them, such that the meek will serve the elites as subordinate slave peasants. In summary, the elites pillage from the poor to seize financial control over them, all to make them into economic subservient slaves. It goes further. The elites manipulate investment and stock markets and banks, all so they can gradually erode and steal money from earnest, hard-working people. The elites use wealth inequity to limit and to control and to enslave people en masse. The elites use desperation of the poor to coerce and control them into doing even more damnable, evil things. The evil and wickedness, it spans all levels of humanity and wealth, from top to bottom. We have seen elites and politicians weaponize the legal system to twist law and order into wicked lawfare with the goal of censoring people or groups entirely, or to socially and professionally cancel someone, to ruin their lives and livelihoods, even to imprison people, all with potentially trumped up fake, fictional charges. And further, there is a chilling effect on everyone else from doing what was canceled by someone. People are discouraged from standing up and speaking out against the elites or the politicians. They fear being the next targeted victim of lawfare. Lawfare has effectively stopped most people in their tracks. And so, with great efficiency, the elites and politicians, using lawfare, they have crushed and squashed potentially thousands or millions of non-elite people from opposing them, or from even speaking out and opposing their agenda. And worse, we have seen elites and politicians install many corrupt puppet judges, puppet attorneys, and puppet-tainted juries worldwide. They have broken the legal system. The courts are not about justice anymore, but rather the legal system of humanity is about control, influence, money, and efficiency, and the safety of their elites. People do not trust the very laws. They do not trust the legal system that governs them, due to lawfare corruption that is so publicly visible and full of overt corruption, without any consequences to the wicked or to the corrupt. With the legal system hijacked by elites and politicians, true justice seems unavailable to the non-elite, to the meek and to the poor. True justice can be made unavailable to entire groups of people or individuals. Anyone that the elites deem deplorable, unacceptable, or extremist, they can all lose their legal rights. They can lose their legal standing and lose their savings, their homes, their livelihoods. They can even lose their freedom. Justice and liberty across the world has been stolen by the elites and politicians. On another but related topic, information is being controlled by the elites and governments. The elite and politicians spread their disinformation while redefining words and rewriting history and vilifying science. All the while, they vilify their opposition, claiming their opponents are using themselves misinformation. Elite and politicians and powerful companies, they all seek to control people using the technocracy and its veiled fascist corporations. They censor, cancel, suppress, and control wealth using technology tools, including biometric and personally identifiable information. They use location and transaction-aware tracking. They monitor banking purchases, financial transactions, and trades. They record individual and corporate background and credit checking services. They monitor social media platforms. They review text messages, blogs, vlogs, and alternative platforms. They track online streaming services and usage patterns. They monitor what people receive and what they read or watch from news and media outlets and sites. They control what media outlets and platforms promote to suppress or censor. They manipulate search engines to promote content that further promotes the elites and political agenda. And now, the elites and politicians are using AI, artificial intelligence, to supercharge everything that we just talked about. The elites and politicians, they use AI to predict which people they should go after before they did anything at all, as if the AI can read the minds of people. The AI is operating as the thought police, as if it was God itself, with such control over everything that people see, read, and hear, and with fear-mongering of an AI punishing people for actions that they never did. People are limited in their freedom of speech, expression, actions, and activities. They are limited in their worship. Elite and politicians emphasize what they want, and they dismiss what they dislike. They even modify or remove entirely dissenting views, articles, media, search results. They remove everything they dislike and don't want others to see or even think about. And the non-elite people with managed and controlled information are by design ignorant. Per design by the elite and politicians, the people are ignorant of the truth. The elite and politicians are thusly deceivers of the people. The people have no idea that they are being told and are living in lies and in deceit. In this way, elite and politicians are essentially stealing free will from all of humanity. On other elite evils of sin and personal gratification, elites, they employ robots to replace people. They do so in everything, even to undermine family and relationships and love. They make and use escort companion bots for the sinful libertine's sinful pleasures, for the gratification of socially derelict and morally bankrupt users of these technological companion toys, as technological toys of perversion and self-gratifying libertine pleasures, all the while abandoning their love of humanity and real people. And there is more evil. As God made all men and women in his form, soul and mind, it is an affront. Becoming abominations of creation that can be destabilizing to themselves and destabilizing to society as a whole. These people must endure ongoing dependencies on drugs and treatments for the rest of their lives, however long that may be, thereby removing their individual ability to defy or oppose the elites, because those elites control access to life-dependent medications and treatments forevermore. I shudder to think how often these innocence and ignorance are led into Oh, this is just too much, even for an angel to bear. I will change topics. Humans have advanced electronic technology to great levels. Humans are now inserting computers directly into their brains. These brain implants, they bestow knowledge as data to the person. They bestow connected processing, like calculations, arithmetic, and environment recording. They bestow augmented reality, seeing things overlaid on top of real things, almost like a heads-up display, a HUD. but they also can jam independent thought via remote signal, overwhelming people's senses. They can paralyze a person via a remote signal, via neurosynaptic signal control. They can induce pain via remote signal. They can alter perception entirely. They can influence desires, values, and behaviors. Brain implants make people into puppets to the elite overlords and the politicians. Brain implants can completely control a person and remove their free will. As I said earlier, much like brain implants, they seek to influence human cognition and remove their free will. They also seek to remove free will in yet more ways, all to force human compliance and improve servant-slave productivity. Elites are using DNA genome editing to genetically alter independent thought, desire, and behavior. They are making people into loyal dogs to the elites and politicians. They are perverting what humanity is. They are perverting what God created people to be. Elites are spraying mind-numbing, brain fog-inducing, health-harming chemicals into the air. They are spraying these aerosol drugs over everyone. They spray streams of chemicals into the air. They call them chemtrails. These harmful sky-streaking chemical trails, they rain down on everyone. The chemicals gradually erode mental acuity, motivation, and aggression. And with all that loss of brain functionality, people lose willpower. And in so, people lose free will. Free will is being stripped away, literally ripped out of them. People lose their ability to defy their elite politician overlords. People, they even lose their ability to worship God. And elites are tainting, they are adulterating the food and the water supplies such that no one anywhere can avoid the elites and the government infusion. Their infusions of mind and body altering harmful drugs that reduce willpower. They reduce the resistance to directives from the politicians and the elites. And they make people sickly and dependent on big pharma drugs and the healthcare industry. Their adulterating of the food supply further ensures their wickedness besets everyone, especially the vulnerable, hard-working innocents. Everyone is vulnerable to their evil because everyone must eat and drink. The elites are using science and technology to steal cognition, independent thought, and free will. I say the fifth sign seems to have become an evil truth that threatens humanity's very identity and values. The fifth sign seems to have been fulfilled in a big way.